Hi, and welcome back to Case Mobile Notaries channel. My name is Celine, and I am glad you are back with us today for another great video. This channel is where we help you level up your learning so you can level up your life. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about some new laws that are just coming into effect for 2025, and one law that became effect at the end of 2024, like December 31st, 2024. We'll get into that later in the video. But I want to talk about if you have your own business, these are some type of laws that are going to take effect, especially here in Michigan. And I'm pretty sure around this here US of A, there are different laws going on. So in your respective states, you might want to look this up too. But I'm going to talk about Michigan because, of course, we're in the Motor City. We're in Michigan. And stay tuned. Now, even if you're not in Michigan, you can listen to this video as well. And you can see if some of these things are going in your state. But let's just get into it so we can see what we're talking about here. Okay, look. I want to say too, it's important for you to stay up to date on laws, new legislation, and all that type of thing, especially if you're a notary or just, want to be a productive citizen, that is as well. You want to stay up to date with these types of things. Okay, so we had a minimum wage increase in Michigan. Our minimum wage was low. So we're not all the way up there with California. California is $15 an hour, right? But a lot of businesses and stuff is closing, so I don't know if that was such the best idea or what. You know, what I think they said McDonald's is $20 for I was about to say Whopper. That's Burger King, but Big Mac. So, I don't know if that's good, that's bad, or whatever. But let's talk about what they did here. So, look, this is interesting. So, in Michigan, they did 2 increases back to back. I thought that was interesting. Maybe because they knew, hey, it's been a long time. we need to catch you up a little bit. So, January 1, soon as the new year hit, January 1, they increased our minimum wage from $10.33 an hour. Woo, it was $10.33 to $10.56 per hour. Okay, it is what it is. That was a little something, right? Then starting February 21st, we're going to get a further increase, and they're going to move that needle up to $12.48 per hour. All right. That's a little bit better. Not 15, but I guess we can take what we can get, right? Okay. Now for the tip workers starting February 21st as well, the tip minimum wage increases to $5.99 per hour. And they have plans to equalize tip wages with standard minimum wage by 2030. Wow. So you mean to tell me these tip waiters, waitresses, they're going to get this $12.48 an hour by 2030 or whatever the minimum wage is at that time? That's pretty interesting. And you know how they're going to do it? Because they're already putting your tips on there automatically. That's why. I'm going to places for a single person sometime. You didn't already put the tip in there. I might not even like this person. This person might not even treated me well. And you mean to tell me you gonna put my tip in there already? I don't know if I agree with that. Well, actually, I don't agree with it. But that's how they gonna do it, I think. Or either they're gonna phase tipping out. I don't know. But this is interesting. So if you own a business, if you have employees, let me give you some action items that you need to do for your business, okay? So you're going to have to adjust your payroll system if you have a payroll system because these increases are changing. You don't want people to be upset for you to get these new increases where it's going to take you 2-3 months to fix your payroll, right? I had that happen before back in the day when I worked a job and we got an increase. I'm thinking that increase is going to take effect right on my next paycheck. You know what? It didn't. It's going to be 2-3 months and you'll get back pay. Why? You've been knowing about this for I don't know how long. Why? So, just, get your stuff together. Get people their money on time and when they need it, right? So communicate these changes to the employees. Sometimes these employees, they don't know what's happening. They don't know they're about to get it. Have integrity and let them know. So then you're also going to have to review your pricing strategies, right? You're paying people more. Prices are going to increase, right? Everything's already going up. So looks like you got some things to do as far as maybe increasing a little price. Hey, people getting more money. Should I, as a notary, even increase some prices? Let me think about that. But no, just, you got to figure that out. You got to accommodate, for the labor costs you're going to be spending and things like that, right? Okay, so we're also starting February 21st. February got a lot going on. You're going to get some earned sick time. It's called the Earned Sick Time Act, which this is a good one, okay? So here's the requirements. Employees are going to accrue 1 hour of sick time for every 30 hours worked, okay? So employers with 10 or more employees, they must provide up to 72 hours of paid sick leave annually. So you have to give people up to 72 hours. Now, with this going on, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to have more part-time people? Probably. There's already a lot of layoffs going on. They might not want to provide this sick time. I don't know. But this is what's going on here. And then employers with fewer than 10 employees. Okay, so if you got fewer than 10, you still must provide up to 40 hours of paid and 32 hours of unpaid sick leave annually. Okay, so people get sick sometime, and just because they sick, they might not be able to work, and then they have no money. That's not necessarily fair, right? I think this is a good thing. This is needed. People get sick, let them use their time. If they use all their time, then they don't get paid afterwards. But you've done all you can do, but they had to make this a law because employers weren't doing it, apparently, so that's the Earned Sick Time Act. Basically, the more I work, you should accommodate me if, I get sick, because guess what? I'm coming in here every day working for you. They might be making you sick. Who knows? The building might not be taken care of correctly, and you got allergies because you in this building all day long. I don't know. Things happen, but you need your sick time. That's what I'm saying. We need that. So let me give you some action items. If you're a business owner and you have employees, right? You want to implement or update sick leave policies to comply with the new law. Okay. Don't be trying to hide this from employees. Don't be trying not to give people their sick time. Don't say, I'm going to wait till they come and ask me about sick time. No, you got to give it to them, okay? So you want to ensure accurate tracking of employee work hours and sick leave accruals. So you have to know how many hours they're working, okay? If you have fewer than 10, you must provide up to 40 hours of paid and 32 hours of unpaid sick leave annually. So that means when people are calling out and they still don't have any sick time available, you still got to give them 32 before you can just fire them. You can't just be firing people because they got sick. Okay? That's what I think the thing is right here. You can't fire people just because they got sick. People are going to get sick. Okay? Especially if you took that. Never mind. Now I ain't going to say that. Okay. Let's move on. That's why I got my notes, because I have to stay on target. I'll be saying something I shouldn't say. Okay. No. I'm not going to say that. So next thing, expanded unemployment benefits. Now this is going to take effect April 1st. They're going to expand the unemployment benefits, okay? This might be a good thing. A lot of people are getting laid off right now. Things are going on. I don't know if it's going to be a hot summer. I don't think it's going to be a hot summer this time. So, April 1st, extension of benefit eligibility from, we only had 20 weeks of paid. Now it's going to go to 26 weeks. And I feel like it used to be 26 weeks long time ago, but I don't know. 20 weeks to 26 weeks is where it's going now. So they're going to increase the weekly benefit, which is good. So the weekly benefit is $362. That's what it is right now. It's been $362 forever. All that I know, it's never changed from $362 a week. So that's good. They're going to increase it to $446. Okay, from $362 to $446 weekly. And they plan to reach up to 614, so $614 by 2027. So I don't know, it doesn't tell us yet what increments it's going to be or how that's going to work. But supposedly by 2027, it's going to get to 614 weekly. So April 1st, you're going up to 446 per week if you need to get unemployment, right? Okay, so if you have a business, right, what do you need to do? You need to understand the implications of unemployment insurance contributions. So you need to make sure that you know what you're supposed to be doing as far as if you are going to have to pay unemployment, okay? Stay informed about the administrative processes for unemployment claims, okay? Now, the one you guys have been waiting for. What took effect December 31st, 2024? I just really found this out not too long ago. But there is a cage-free egg mandate. Did you know that, Michiganders? There's a cage-free egg mandate with this bird flu and all of that, and the egg prices are super high. Why did they do this? We need whatever eggs we can get, but now we only can get cage-free only, okay? So all eggs sold in Michigan must come from cage-free facilities, okay? Yep. So with this bird flu and egg prices going up, y'all don't be going out here getting these other kind of eggs, okay? You can't do it. It's a law. You can't do it, okay? So businesses, if you got a restaurant or, something like that where you using eggs, or you got a cake business, you using eggs, whatever, you using eggs, okay? So what are your action items, okay? I wrote some for you. So for food service and retail businesses, source eggs from compliant suppliers. Okay, don't go all off on the black market looking for eggs. Okay, you can't do it. Cage free. No black market eggs. No chicken eggs. Cage free eggs. Why did we do that? I don't know. So you're going to have to update your supply chain agreements so you're going to have to update your supply chain agreements because you need to reflect the new sourcing requirements, and you need to make sure whomever you're sourcing your eggs from and whomever you've been getting them from, are they cage free? Now this is a question that you need to ask. Hey, are these cage free? And you know what? It's interesting. I have been in the grocery store and I had been seeing at the end of the month, everything was cage free. And I'm looking for, because usually the cage free was a little bit more expensive. And so I'd be looking for the other eggs. And a couple times I went and I couldn't find nothing but cage free. And I was like, well, cage free is good. Okay, I'll go with this. But see how they do it? They just push it on you. Cage free. I didn't even know this was happening. But that's why it's only cage free in the supermarket, in case you were wondering that too. All right, what else is happening in Michigan with our laws? So, starting June 30th, we're going to have automatic voter registration. Okay, should have been doing that anyway. When you go get your license, it's automatically, your voter registered. Okay? So, automatic voter registration for residents applying for or renewing a driver's license or state ID. Okay? That's going to happen now automatically. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be, I remember back in college, I used to go around trying to make sure all the people that were turning 18 signed up to vote and all of this. I guess they ain't gonna need to do all of that anymore. So you're gonna automatically be registered to vote, whether you wanna vote or not. Okay, you're registered. All right. Now, what strategies have you implemented to make sure you stay up with your laws? Why don't you put that in the comments for me there? How do you stay up to date? I try to look at the beginning of the year or so or something to see what's going on, see what changes, because that's when most of the time things are changing. Now, I know what you're saying. I ain't heard say nothing about no notary laws. What's going on with that? I got something for you, Michigan. Okay, we got a couple bills out there that are going on. We got a bill where they want to try to maybe increase the notary fees. If that's going to happen, I don't know. There's another bill out there where they're looking to have you do a notary school or something, which I don't agree with this one. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, on some places or states or people, whatever you want to say, are saying that notary is not a profession. But then you want us to go and get these notary schools to do it. So, are we a profession or are we not? Have you heard that, by the way? So, you want to implement all these other laws, and I every time you try to change a law or do a new law, it like cage-free eggs. We've been having it regular eggs or whatever eggs forever. Now all of a sudden, mandate cage-free eggs. See, sometimes some of these things don't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. But that's what's out there for the notary community as well. In Michigan, check out your laws, see what maybe is changing. Try to understand them. If you are in business or own a business, these are the type of things you do want to stay up to date with, because you might have to change the wages. You might have to give them sick time. You might have to, I don't know, something else might come up, like cage-free eggs, for example. You might have to give everybody I don't know, eggs, but they got to be cage-free. So what are we going to do on Easter, Easter, cage-free eggs. Okay, I just can't get over that one. I know. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you if you stuck around to the end. I really appreciate it. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And guess what? We'll see you in the next video. Bye.